would not be a none of that would probably be we done chopped it up about those things pretty much a million times. But yeah, just to talk about controlled opposition, you know, because now we got some air now. This is my brother Rashad, and in the interest of keeping everything 100 and not just catering to those who may have a pro unplug 'em opinion, we're gonna do more. But my brother Rashad is a good friend of mine from Detroit, East Side Detroiter, and we've been say it again, Shad. Born and raised. Yep. Let me turn you all the way up, all the way turned up. Okay. And you know, he asked me some great questions, and some of the questions that Rashad have asked have become videos. Believe it or not, I dare say I don't even know how many to say, Shad, at this point, but I would say maybe at least four of your questions have turned to videos. So one of the ongoing questions, because it's some questions that that you asked me more than one way, more than one time, and that's good because sometimes there's more than one answer for some things anyway. And one of the questions that it takes a little time to get to really understanding and overstanding, and we really can never totally come to a complete answer on, is the thing concerning controlled opposition. And so you know, Brother Rashad has done his due diligence, and he's been looking into a lot of the people that some of you may be familiar with already. And so, you know, I'm not one to try to sow discord among the brethren, and I do apologize for any way in which I may have contributed to that before. I don't want to sow discord among the brethren, but I do want to call a spade, literally. So, you know, the brother have brought it to my attention that there's some questions concerning Tariq Nasheed, and even what's the sister's name you said, Shad?
That was the lady, Alexis K. Tyler. I guess made a suggestion that he might, you know, be on the other side, the funny side or whatever. You know, I might have dismissed it as funny, or, you know, just trying to take the heat off myself. But
okay, because that does happen. First of all, Almighty God, my tongue, my mind, and my heart to be in alignment with your will. Yeah, that does happen. You find that in controlled opposition, you need two opposing viewpoints to make the game look like it's fair. So what you'll have is, from one source, from the brotherhood, they'll have two sides or two opinions that would appear to be against each other, when in reality they both are coming from the same origin. Maybe not from the same sorority or fraternity or from the same branch, but from the same trunk, from the same tree trunk, from the same root. So and that's a big, huge part. You know, okay, here's a great example, Shad. You saw School Days, right? Okay, we could use alphas and omegas, or we could use Crips and Bloods, and we can find the same dynamic in both. It's the same thing. Thank you, Most High, for that analogy. It's the same thing. They're all in the same gang, for real, and we ain't talking about Michelle A and Eazy-E. They really are all in the same gang once you get to a certain level of exposure. Now, again, you want to be cautious, because if you're doing something right for the community as a whole, or if you're doing something right for your culture, you are going to be under the gun. And so, with that being said, you know, with all due respect, oh my goodness, with all due respect, you know, it's possible that there are people out there who would slander Tariq because they would see him as on the good side, or they would see him as doing a thing that some people don't want done. Some people don't want certain things told about the history and culture of the black man, and so and that's true. Now, I believe that the game is to be told and not sold, and that what you should show. You should show and tell and show and prove. So I applaud any who sincerely seek to uncover things that have been covered up. But let's use some game. Some things have been covered up only to create a false dynamic of opposition, a distraction that the opposition is this away when they that away. And so when I see and hear, and this is just my opinion, who am I? But when I see and hear Tariq and the others in that crew, and when I say in that crew, I mean those that co-sign with him and get on the videos with him, and those that are in constant opposition of him. When I see them, I think about really, and this is just my opinion, I think about two sides, both coming from the same origin, like Bloods and Crips, or like Democrats and Republicans, or like the good guys and the bad guys in the WWE, or like the Alphas and the Omegas. I look at two sides that all the time Alphas and Omegas don't know the history and don't always know that, hey, really, we're all coming from the same source, Same thing with Bloods and Crips, especially with the younger ones. The old heads might have a better idea, and again, I'm talking in a metaphor that's inclusive of several different groups at one time. So when I say the old heads concerning the Bloods and the Crips, I'm talking about the old heads concerning the black consciousness movement too. Some of the old heads realize that, hey, this is part of a trick, and they don't want the trick to continue. So you will find that they don't get off into too much cross-talking and tongue wrestling. But the new heads do. Why? Because usually they're vying for position. They all jockeying for position. So, and that's a little disingenuous. But it's what some people do. Some people do this for fame, and you can tell. Now, and just in my heart of hearts, and this is just my opinion, Tariq Nasheed is one of those people. And birds of a feather tend to flock together. So even those who step out and oppose him, or look like they opposing him, 9 times out of 10 they shooting at him because of a certain level of status that he has gained in the consciousness community, in the knowledge game.
That's funny, man. Because I think around the time Hidden Colors 2 came out, I noticed he started putting out random tweets and Instagrams. I guess that would kind of have you refer him back to his, I guess, what you call game coaching days, or Matt Gusson days. Not that they ever ended, but he would put out like a lot of what you call, I can't think of the name, but there's a lot of sayings, a lot of quotes from his old Art of Mackin books about, not being a true player unless you put a woman out your crib, cars, stuff like that. And he said he did it to distance himself from the black community, not the black community, the black consciousness community, because I don't know, I guess he was getting hit up by a lot of hotel cats. That's what he calls them. I don't call them that. Asking for donations for this and that. And I guess he wasn't liking that attention from the black conscious community. But I'm like, okay, you got these individuals doing video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have Phil Valentine, Umar Johnson, what's the lady, my last name is Ali. She going down to you.
Shahrazad Ali.
Yeah.
Even Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Francis Cress Wilson,
Who, by the way, is one of my first teachers in the black consciousness discipline. And when I say the black consciousness discipline, the black consciousness is a discipline different than spiritual consciousness or knowledge of God in general. Now, there is no ethnicity or color, or culture, because we should deal with culture and nationality. when we're in this area, history and its background. Far be it from me. I'm far from that belief. My discourage young people
into looking, but I do encourage them not to be triple G, to really look at that with the same gameful eye that you have to look at everything else, because people planted in that, and it took me many years of going down through the deepest levels of that. And when I say the deepest levels of that, I mean it, because I wanted to believe that it was all good. So I went looking from Nation of Islam to the Wahabian Nation of Moors to the Moorish Temple to the 5% Nation. I went looking to try to find the one. Yeah. You know, I'm for real when I talk about it. I was about it, and because I was looking for the right one, and it ended up being that none of them was the right one. They was all tainted in one way or another, just like you find with man-made religion. And that's what I guess I want the young brothers and sisters who are in search of their identity to be wary of. I trust in the Most High.
Brother, hold on 1 second. I'm just go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Okay.
Before I leave her.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
You just speak.
All right. Okay. I trust in the Most High, and I trust in the ability of the Most High to guide you to things that you are meant to know. And I trust in the ability of the Most High to keep you from being deceived, if you are aware that there could be a deception. When you walk into, for those of you who have and who do, when you go into your haunted house during the All Hallows Eve season or the Samhain season, and you know that you're going into a haunted house, you're on guard. When I used to go, and yeah, we used to go religiously back, you know, when I didn't know anything was wrong with that. When I used to go, it was hard to scare me, because I'm not a scary berry, but I would be expecting that something's gonna jump from behind every wall, and because of that, it makes you hard to surprise. Well, some of the young brothers and sisters who are new to the game of, and that don't mean you're not true to the game. You know, admit when you're new to the game. You can still be true to the game. But okay. So, I was just explaining how some of the young brothers and sisters, you know, they don't realize that just like walking into a haunted house for Halloween season that people pay $15, $20 to go to, you know, you need to be on your guard. And if you're going through a haunted house, you know that something may jump out of every corner from behind every wall. Something might pop up and try to scare you. Well, when people are navigating through the black consciousness disciplines, and when they're learning knowledge of self and getting their culture and roots and culture and their history together, they tend to do so blindly, because they don't have that guard up oftentimes that you have up when you walk through a haunted house. And I maintain that the house is haunted and tainted, and so you got to walk through it with that same guard up, looking behind every corner, from behind every wall, anticipating that there's something there to trick you. And that goes with every discipline. I'm not a Christian. Some of the beliefs that I hold most dearly are shared by those who are Christian. Well, I could say the same thing for those who are Muslim. And I could say the same thing for those who study commission science. What I found is that there is no man-made religion or discipline, and commission science is a discipline. There is no man-made science or discipline or religion that is untainted. As long as mankind had to write it down, you will find something wrong with it. Okay? And I'm talking about the discipline, not all of the tools of the discipline. Some of the tools of the different disciplines are without taint, because some of the tools of each discipline are of God. Why? Because God has been divided up
for lack of a better word. He can't be destroyed. But the enemy has taken different truths and separated them one from another. And one good thing about going through the Nuwapian discipline and the Ansar Allah studies was that you had a good overview of all of the different disciplines and what they said about different things. And it for me, it kept my guard up. It kept me always on the lookout for the cookout, always ready to anticipate that there was somebody looking to barbecue me if I stepped wrong. And so I began to look at all of the past disciplines that I had encountered and all of the ones I would encounter after that fact as possible suspect. And when you do that, you allow yourself the chance to see the game in everything, in every belief system. I follow the way of Yeshua, the Messiah, to the best of my ability with the tools that are left behind that are of God. And even greater than that, with the tool within us that cannot be fooled. And that is what they call in the Christian discipline the Holy Spirit. And it's called other things in other disciplines. But, the commission may say that they're weighing it on the scales of Tahuti. But I found that there is a truth, and this truth has been sliced like a pie, and everybody have their favorite piece, but very few people want to put all of the puzzle pieces. I'm charged to try to put the puzzle pieces together, and that includes where black consciousness fits into the puzzle or into the pie. And there's a place for it. There is a place for it. But where my issues came in, Shad, and then I'm gonna give you the flow again. Just give me a chance to gather your stuff up too. But where I saw a problem at was where the slice of pie looked the same as the slice of Lucifer pie. And if I had not, if I had not went down through the Luciferian things and the Crowleyan teachings, I would have not peeped that, because it all sounds good for the same reason. To believe that you are God sounds good to you. It sounds good to you, whether you believe it because you believe that God is Lucifer, or whether you believe that God is Heru. That sounds good to people. It preys on the human weakness of pride and self-importance. And that's where the issue of black pride becomes an issue in your tissue. To have pride is what come before the fall. It's what caused the greatest angelic being of all to fall. And he was awful smart and beautiful and all of that. And black is beautiful. So the different things that they try to do to, they say, to try to lift up a downtrodden people's ego are too reminiscent to me as things that I saw in the Luciferian discipline. And I've found out why. I know why, but we can come back to that if you got something that you wanted to add, Brother Shad.
Okay, I mean, it would have been fine to stay on that train of thought, because I was getting something out of that. I was going to ask you about, what do you think about the, I don't know, remember I told you about the little coon train?
Yeah.
Coon train is coming.
Yeah. And
just as I was telling you about that, you experienced such name calling, I guess, on one of the comments.
Yeah.
That was made. Someone's going back and forth with you. Made your day, right?
Yeah, it did. It did. It made my day. I'm sorry to say, I would rather collide than hide. And I'm built for action. I'm built for action. I want to try to remain humble and respectable and all of that, and not allow for myself to get put in the wrong position, because I know that's part of the trick and the trap too. But I had and I'm pretty sure it's a young brother. I had a young brother who misconstrued and misunderstood my perspective, and
just for the just to
maintain or to announce my pedigree properly, I have never been and will never be affiliated with any brotherhood of any sort. I went to Wayne State University. I didn't pledge then. When I saw school days, I saw a bunch of low self-esteem having sucker saps who need to be a part of something in order to adapt. And that
man, you need to repeat that.
Yeah, that was never you know, and you know, we all as young people growing up, you want people to accept you, and that's why people join the things that they join, from gangs to brotherhoods. But I never was that type. And one thing that the Detroit mentality, I know you'll feel this. One thing that the Detroit mind state did not do was create a big gang mentality. It may have created a dope boy mentality, which is a I, me, self thing, but not a real tribal sense of needing a group to belong. If you couldn't hold your own by yourself, you know, I don't know what to say for you. It was going to be bad for you. So, you know, you learn that early on, and so I never desired to be a part of those things, and I denounced them. First and foremost, those brothers and sisters are more than being our enemies. They are duped, and they are on 3G status in the 4G world, game goofy goobers, and they are also controlled at the highest levels, even in the Nation of Islam. I'm sorry to say to my brothers who I know are good intended in that program, with control behind all of your religious disciplines.
As they stand today, the Catholic Church has a secret society, and that, you know, for lack of a better description, that would be the Black Pope and the Jesuit order. And the Jesuit order has laid down the law for not just smaller groups like the nation, but also for your major churches, for Christianity as a whole. Christianity is not what the Messiah would have ascribed to. However, even when the Messiah and his band was out doing their thing, and the disciples noticed some others who were out doing a similar thing, and they wanted to rebuke the others, the Messiah said, no. He said, slow your roll. He said, you know, whoever's not against us is rolling with us. And so, you know, I look at that dynamic as well, Shad. I realize part of controlled opposition is to try to keep us from ever being able to get together. You know, and because everybody gonna have some kind of difference at the end of the day. You know, you'll never believe exactly as me, but for me to sit up and call you an agent provocateur or a shield or a troll or whatever because of it is really, it's a sign of ignorance, and it's a sign of youthful deception. You know, you're more easily deceived when you don't have the experience, you know, and because a lot of things will look right to you that ain't right, you know, and it takes trial and error in this particular part of the game. Without trying different things out, you will not know what's what, and I mean really trying them out, because everything sounds good when you come from the hood.
Yeah, I dig that.
I'm gonna move this party down. Keep on rapping.
Okay, not a doubt, no doubt. The material, I don't know if you got any of that material. I probably sent you, I guess, before the weekend. I know I labeled some of those things. I guess, you know, you needed some guidelines or whatever to see where I was actually coming from with a lot of that, I guess, that we call it opposition tactics. I know there was something you also referred to as the Hegelian dialect.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying it right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a fancy name for problem reaction solution, which those who have watched Alex+Jones or even Zeitgeist, which a lot of people saw, which that was low key, that was
controlled opposition. Zeitgeist was, and so is Alex Jones.